to talk about these drinks and light bulbs they were selling. They were
す
crazy.
ごいわこれ。
Colors and such.
何
It
の
was
ドリン
like
ク
a little
こんにちは皆さん、テリチャンネルのテリです。いつも動画を見てくれてありがとう。今日はですね、外国人の家族が日本の上京したビデオを見ていきます。このオリジナルビデオは3300万回ビューがあります。すごっでは見ていきましょう。始まります。はい。
In October, I went on the first vacation I've been on with my family in years. My dad worked super hard all the time, so normally it would be either my brother, mom, and
Many
me,
families
or just
have
me and my
like
mom.
this.
And
When
even those
father is
vacations
busy, they
became
can't
pretty
go on the
sparse. It's been
vacation.
over 10 years since we've all had a family vacation, and all of a sudden we have a week to be squished together in a foreign country. So how'd this one go?
日本に来ました。
Day one, we arrived at the Tokyo airport after a nice and easy 11-hour flight.
11 hour
私
私も同じだっ
We
た。
finally made it. We've been planning and looking forward to this trip for almost a year, and it's finally happening. How do we get out of here? We were at the airport for 2 hours trying to figure out what we had to do, which train we had to get.
でも
We
エ
lost
アポ
Dad
ー
for
ト
like
に
half an hour in the
英語
sea
で
of
も書いてる
Asians.
で
I'd
す
already
ね。普
expected the
段。
worst and thought he was dead. But no worries, turns out he wasn't taken out by the Japanese mafia. We had to get train tickets
これ
and he had to take
あ
care
ー、名
of the
前忘
luggage,
れた。
so we
ヒーロ
split
ーア
up
カデ
and
ミアか
planned
ら
to。meet at a ticket counter. But little did we know there were two of them on opposite ends of the floor. And as the stereotype goes, they looked exactly the same. So my parents were just grumbling and waiting for each other to show up at the opposite ticket stand with no method of communication because we didn't have Wi-Fi yet. After figuring that out and getting to the Tokyo station, we had to use the subway to get to our hotel. None of us grew up in the city, and using the subway was new to us, so we had to look at the train station map to see what to do.
そうですね。日本のトレインステーションめっちゃめちゃメッシですね。
Screensaver. What is this? Props to people who use the
many
metro
lines there.
daily, or even just know how to figure that stuff out, because that's like a whole Bill Gates secret code, and the consequence of making a
本当に
mistake
で
is
すね。
paying to be plopped in an area you
め
never
っちゃ
wanted to be
難し
at
い
in the。first
こちら。
place. We didn't even know how to start reading the map, so my dad resorted to the only logical option.
For
Do you
foreigners,
speak
it
English?
really
Do you speak
looks
English?
like
Konnichiwa.
very complicated.
Please, help us.
英語話せるわけねえじゃねえか外人のバカ迷子になれ
A good 90% of the time we were lost and not knowing where to go. So my dad would keep walking up to random Japanese people and trying to communicate with them in English. even though we were in a
Body
country
language.
that doesn't speak English. And when
Nani?
they obviously wouldn't understand, he would just try to say it all again. But slow.
This happens a lot too. If you say slower, they will still not understand. They don't know
Japan is super
English.
different from the States. I didn't really know what to expect, but my mom and I were super hyped after experiencing and learning about the culture. Dad and Jax, not so much. But they like the food. So here's what happened. First morning, woke up early to do a Tokyo bus tour. This time, after our best friend Paul taught us the ropes, we were experts at navigating the subway.
うわ
We got on the wrong
ちょっ
train.
と
We stopped at a cafe for breakfast.
まだ間違えたね
At that
トレイ
point where I
ン
realized I wasn't going to be able to use the image translation app I downloaded to try and make
あ、
communication
トランスレーションはめっちゃ悪い
easier
ね
while we were there. It would have been
Google
super awesome to just hover the camera over the Japanese symbols and have the phone
93ベルスコーン何これ
but it wasn't working the way I thought it would. I don't speak Japanese, but I'm pretty sure they weren't selling a surprise.
サプライズングは何
Who married an egg
ツ
and
ナ
a
だ
boy
った多分
The tour was fun. We went to a forest with some shrines, saw some sumo wrestlers,
Sumo.
went up the Tokyo Tower. Pretty cool.
東京タワー私も
Second
見
day,
たい
we walked on Japan's big famous crosswalk that looks like the B movie's traffic system. Pressed F for the dog that waited 9 years for his dead owner to return from the train station. I love you, Hachiko.
選び8個かわいい
Mega Donuki! Spent way too much money at the Pokemon
あ、
Center.
私も同じになります
And collapsed into bed.
I'm pretty sure I will buy this thing so much too
Day whatever. Wrong train. Rice triangles. Tiny banana snack. My brother said it tasted weird.
電車はいつでも間違えたですね
Went to sleep.
疲れた
We
ち
had another bus tour around Kyoto, and one of the stops was this 1,000 golden statues temple that was really cool. And we learned about a
golden
bunch of gods,
statues?
one of
すごい
which I, a Pokemon master,
え
already recognized since it was the inspiration behind Thunder.
これ知らなかったポケモンちょっと見たことないだからわからない私
And there's a whole backstory to this place where some people would do this thing called taking the plunge, which was seen as a bold and desperate, extreme wish-making act. So it's simple. What you do is jump off the 43-foot temple balcony and not die.
何これ
I'm not joking. In the Edo period, people believed that if they put their lives in the hands of Kanon, the god of mercy, you'd be granted a wish, given you don't die, because he doesn't give wishes to corpses. During that time, 200 people jumped, and 85% of them survived, which I'd say is actually a pretty good ratio. One woman apparently even jumped
85%
twice.
すごっ
Hey, my wish didn't come true.
ひげ
I guess I jump again, and I don't let you do that anymore. Which I think is fair, I guess. Anyway, that wasn't even where I was going with that place. There's this little shrine area at the foot of the temple with 3 waterfalls, each representing either longer life, wisdom, or love. And if you drink from one of them, it's believed that you'd be granted that particular category. But you only get one drink.
これすごい全部一緒に飲みたいですねみんな
They would get the water in the cup, wash one hand at a time, then pour some water into one hand to drink from, and let the rest drip into the pool below. Anyway, cutting to the chase. Basically, you're in the presence of some pretty intense wisdom right now. Also, there wasn't any place to dry your hands afterwards, so I got wisdom water all over my face. You're allowed to walk under them, but apparently it takes like 3 hours to get through them all, and we didn't have that time, so we walked under like 10 slightly dusted with a pound of sugar. My mom and I went to the Studio Ghibli Museum. How incredible that place was. I would recommend it to anyone who has an appreciation for Ghibli or animation or art or anything. I'd show you how mesmerizing it is in there, but there's no filming or photos allowed inside, so no spoilers here. I'm a child of the law. I did it was adorable. And sometimes you just gotta break the rules when it's important. We went to a conveyor belt sushi place, and breaking rules. Overwhelmed and just immediately grabbed like 5 random things. I've been to one before, but my skills aren't so when I tried to put the wasabi bowl back, I ended up clogging a bunch of plates and sushi harmony and just being really obnoxious, and I felt really bad. The wisdom juice is kicking in. We went to this famous Sega arcade with 8 floors. That was immensely interesting. You know when you go to an arcade and there's always some Asian kid who's an absolute god.
これ私もやりたいこのダンスですねなんか
This is their hive. This is the Enlightenment Mountain they climb for 80 years and consume nothing but tears of tigers. Car racing, combat games,
これもめっちゃいっぱいですね
even the
本当に
children
日
were
本で
getting
プレイング
spit
マ
out
シ
the
ー
window
ン
like monks. Look at this guy. I don't know what game this is or the objective here, but the aura around him is screaming, "Leave here and never come back." Unworthy rat. We were also introduced to this dance game I've never seen before called Dance Rush Stardom. It's like DDR,
これめっちゃやりたい
100% more late 90s Melbourne shuffling. My brother and I tried to play it, and it felt like the whole country was like, oh,
うまくなかったねうま
but
く
we
な
got
か
a
った
good kick out of it, so you know what, go konnichiwa yourself. Then we left and got on the
Again, wrong train 何これ
robot show. And let me tell you, this place was insane. So the main attractions of the place are these giant flashy robots and stuff. But I gotta talk about these drinks and light bulbs they were selling. They were
すごいわこれ
colors and such.
何の
It was
ドリン
like
ク
a little rave in a cup. Like, dude, who comes up with this stuff? Benjamin Franklin wishes he did, I'll tell you that. You got to choose from like 4 drink choices, but most of them were alcohol, so I got this peach juice instead. I'm legally allowed to drink now, but I'm not the biggest fan, and who knows how outrageous the drink would have looked.
すごいわ行きたい
Anyway, definitely one of the most insane things I saw there, for sure. Top of the list of the entire show, nothing compares to the light bulb. Japan was so much fun, and it's become one of my favorite memories with my family. But the thing is, when I started this script, I wanted to briefly mention what we did so I could talk about how much trouble I had getting back home, because that was a whole situation of classic Jaden I thought you would enjoy. But here I am on page 4 of the script, and I haven't been able to talk about anything. I don't like breaking stories into different parts, but we're not animating a 20-minute video. I'd rather put my hands in the life of
ダメだよ
So,
これ
yeah,
トワイスで
see
ダ
you
メ
in a few weeks with the
面白かったよ日本は本当に楽しいな You can have so many adventures here I think foreigner who is coming here with just a translation app without knowing any language, will be very hard for them because Google Translate is never like correct, like a very rare it happening when then it's like a translating 100% correct, you know. この Stir Fried Egg と Wife はめっちゃ面白かった、トランスレートの時に。私も同じです。でも at least like English and Japanese things are translating like around 60%, 70%, you know. But if you use it on a Georgian translation, there like a Google doesn't have enough Georgian words and it's translating very like stupid things. そしてメトロで日本に本当にびっくりした。私もなんかジョージアには2個だけラインが持ってる。そしてなんかこのラインで行きます。It's not going like this or something like that. でも日本のなんかトレインはすごいな。なんかスパイダーウェーブみたいです。どこでも行けるよ。そしてジョージアのトレインはなんか It's underground train always. Only one station we have in Georgia which is outside. でも日本には全部トレインステーションは外にあります。これは本当に気持ちいいです。Because while riding the train you can watch the views also so much. でもジョージアのトレインはなんか黒だけです。でも even like entering in Georgia train I'm killing time while watching pipes underground. You know I'm watching them always. 私の初めての日本生活の見たい人はぜひセカンドチャンネルはチェックしてください。ではこのビデオはここまでです。最後まで見てくれてありがとう。次のビデオでお会いしましょう。またねー